This evening, first, new harassment laws are in the works. The government is stepping up efforts to protect citizens, especially women, from dangerous behaviors. We'll tell you how these new measures aim to complement existing domestic violence legislation. Plus, a mother walks free. Accused of killing her husband in self-defense after years of alleged abuse, has been acquitted. Find out why the judge dismissed the case. Major repairs are coming to the East Bank Road. But how will the government keep traffic moving? Details on the newly constructed bypass road design to ease the commute while crucial reconstruction takes place. Also, vendors evicted without warning. Georgetown City Council clears out the area around the popular Water Street restaurant after a court order. Hear from shocked vendors and what the council plans to do next. And violence in Mexico escalates as factions of Sinaloa cartels clash. The ongoing battle cripples the local economy with no end in sight. Stay tuned for these stories and more right here on Headline News Update. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for September 25th, 2024. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, 28-year-old Lisa Haley, a mother of two, was acquitted on Tuesday of a manslaughter charge related to the death of her husband, Dalson Haley, which occurred on July 29, 2017 in Kitty, Georgetown. The High Court Judge Peter Hughes dismissed the case due to insufficient evidence following a no-case submission from Haley's attorney, Damian De Silva. The defense argued that the prosecution failed to disprove the possibility that Lisa acted in self-defense, noting that the case relied heavily on an eyewitness and Haley's police caution statement. The judge agreed and instructed the jury to deliver a not guilty verdict. Reports indicate that Lisa had suffered abuse during their relationship, with her husband allegedly forcing her into prostitution and frequently taking her earnings. On the day of the incident, an argument escalated, and Dalsa reportedly armed himself with a knife, threatening to kill Lisa. She managed to gain control of the weapon and fatally stabbed him. He later succumbed to his injuries at the Georgetown Public Hospital. On a different note, the government is actively working on new harassment legislation aimed at safeguarding individuals from behaviors that threaten their safety, dignity, and rights. Minister of Human Services and Social Security, Dr. Vindhya Prasad, announced ongoing consultation with the Ministry of Legal Affairs and other stakeholders to ensure comprehensive protection, particularly for women. Speaking at a gender-based violence event, Prasad explained that the legislation is a continuation of the Spotlight Initiative's effort to eliminate all forms of violence against women and girls, with a particular focus on domestic and family violence, sexual and gender-based violence, and harmful practices, femicide, trafficking in human beings, and sexual and economic exploitation. The new law will complement the recently passed Family Violence Act 2024, which strengthens protection against domestic abuse, including emotional, physical, and economic harm. Attorney General Anil Nandlal emphasized the importance of proactive laws that address societal issues. He noted that just as laws have been strengthened to tackle domestic violence and road accidents, similar measures will be introduced to address the rising number of harassment cases. Moving on. It is evident that the East Bank thoroughfare has faced significant wear and tear due to heavy vehicular traffic, including trucks, leading to bulges and depressions along the roadways. The government has noted that complete rehabilitation of this busy road presents a significant challenge due to constant traffic flow. The Ministry of Public Works has performed periodic maintenance on various sections to manage this. Nevertheless, to effectively address these issues, the government has recently constructed a bypass road through Grove Diamond, allowing for the reconstruction of the Grove Diamond stretch while ensuring uninterrupted traffic flow to support industrial activities. Therefore, drivers are being urged to access the bypass road effectively. Stick around when we return. Georgetown City Council removes vendors near Popeyes following court order, and Gaio Providence service station temporarily closed after truck collision.
The Guyana Elections Commission GECOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by December 31st, 2024 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. Types of transactions. Anyone eligible for registration is required to visit the registration office responsible for his or her area of residence to apply for registration. Persons who are already registered could apply for a name change if they have changed their names since they were last registered. Apply for corrections if there is incorrect information on their national ID cards. Persons who are desirous of conducting any of the above transactions must provide the relevant supporting documents. Persons who are already registered could request that their photographs be retaken if the quality of the photographs on their ID cards is unacceptable. Collect their new ID cards if they have not done so as yet. This registration exercise will end on November 29, 2024. For further information, please contact GECOM on the following hotline numbers: 225-027729, 226-6557, 223-9650, or visit the GECOM website at www.gecom.org.gy.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Carpet smalls make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown, telephone 226-1082.
Welcome back. Yesterday, on September 24th, 2024, a customer's freight container truck collided with the canopy of the Ghana Oil Company's service station in Providence. After assessing damages, it was determined that the environment poses a hazard to Guyana's customers. As a result, the Providence service station will be temporarily closed for emergency repairs. To ensure continued service, the Guyana Diamond location will now operate 24 hours daily to accommodate customers. The Ghana Oil Company Limited management deeply regrets any inconvenience caused and is committed to expeditiously restoring service. In other news, on Thursday, the Georgetown Mayor and City Council removed vendors from the area surrounding the Popeyes restaurant on Water Street following a mandamus order issued by the High Court. The City Mayor, Alfred Mentor, explained that the Mayor and City Council was mandated to take action after its owner, R.L. Singh, filed an application from Popeyes Guyana Restaurant Incorporated. Vendors expressed shock at the sudden eviction, stating that they received no prior notice.
I was not informed.
While Mayor Mentor acknowledged the need to clear vendors from the pavements for public use, he voiced concerns about removing them from the streets, which he believed should be accessible as long as the vendors does not obstruct public passage. He indicated that the council will seek a resolution to address the issue and has met with vendors and attorney Nigel Hughes to discuss potential long-term solutions. This incident marks the third mandamus order that the Mayor and City Council has faced regarding street vending, following similar orders issued in the past to clear areas around Munishwars, and Demico House. The Mayor and City Council is under increased pressure to comply with these court directives while also addressing the livelihood challenges faced by defenders. World Pharmacist Day, organized by the International Pharmaceutical Federation, a partner of the World Health Organization, is dedicated to acknowledging and celebrating the vital role pharmacists play in fostering healthier communities worldwide. Recognized on September 25th annually, this year's theme is meeting global health needs. Pharmacists are essential to our healthcare system, often serving as the first point of contact for health advice and primary care. They understand and address the diverse health needs of populations, providing care in numerous ways. Today, Headline News proudly recognizes and celebrates pharmacists' contribution in Ghana and around the globe. Don't go away after the break. Stifling the internet, authorities in Africa deliberately stop access, and Israeli strikes reach multiple areas across Lebanon.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Carpet smalls make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Two factions of the Sinaloa Cartel, one of the most powerful in Mexico, have been fighting since early September. They want to control the city of Culiacan, which is the organization's base, but the fighting is crippling the local economy. Al Jazeera's John Holman reports.
Townspeople in Culiacan are having to adjust to a new reality. One where bodies turn up on the street daily. One where schools are closed, businesses have reduced hours. And 2 weeks after the start of a civil war in the Sinaloa Cartel, sparked by the arrest in the United States of one of its founders, there's no end in sight. The local economy's hurting. The Chamber of Commerce estimates it's losing $25 million a day. Don Jacobo built up his seafood restaurant from a stall. 46 years later, it's an institution, but he's wondering how long he can hang on.
We've got about 15% of our usual customers. People don't want to come out because there are risks. They're scared. Let's see how long this lasts.
He's closing 2 hours earlier than usual. Buses that take his staff home won't run after dark. The criminals have told the population via social media to stay home at night. That's when they take people away. Instead of the very public shootouts of the first few days, what we're seeing now is that the warring factions are kidnapping people, killing them and then dumping their bodies on the streets, usually overnight, but in the daytime as well. It's just early afternoon here in Culiacan and there are 5 people that have just turned up dead. More than 70 bodies have appeared, but the missing outnumber them, says Isabel Cruz. She leads the Warrior Bloodhounds, a voluntary group who've been searching for the disappeared for years. But in the last 2 weeks, that number's shot up higher than ever before.
I get all types of calls, desperate families whose relative has just been taken, crying, asking what to do, where to go, or families who have already gone to the authorities, but they're told nothing.
The police, National Guard and the Army are all here, 3,000 in total, but they haven't been able to stop the fighting yet.
The authorities arrive when things have already happened. There are key points, communities, where they know the criminal groups are. They should go and act before things kick off. But there's no strategy for that. And after it's happened, there's no point. I see a state that's impotent against organized crime.
Meanwhile, forensic services continue to pick up bodies on the main road out of town. And residents can only look on at what's become the new normal here. John Holman, Al Jazeera, Culiacan.
In 2023, there was a record number of internet shutdowns across Africa. That's according to the internet rights group Access Now. The organization says authorities deliberately interrupted web access at least 283 times in 39 African countries, Al Jazeera's Nicholas Haig reports.
For citizen journalist Matar Cisse, words don't come as freely. After being locked in jail for an online post, for every keystrokes, there is now hesitation, the sense of a presence always watching over him on his computer device. When thousands in 2023 were protesting a politically motivated trial against opposition figure Ousmane Sonko, Cisse took to social media to document what people were shouting on the streets. The young journalist was convicted of threatening the state and fueling unrest. His post permanently deleted from the internet. Defiant, Cisse says he would do it again.
Jail times made me more courageous and also more cautious. I think I come out stronger and more determined to continue my journalism.
At the Forum on the Internet Freedom in Africa, Cisse stands among cyber activists, journalists, policymakers, influencers, and hackers. Their goal? To push back against growing internet repression. 2023 saw a record 283 internet shutdowns across 39 countries. Widespread cyber blackouts took place in Senegal, Ethiopia, and Guinea, while Ethiopia's Tigray and Amhara regions enduring a year-long shutdown. Kenya and Mozambique also joined the list. These governments say the restrictions are necessary to stop the spread of misinformation and prevent unrest.
We've witnessed governments weaponizing network disruptions during periods of unrest as well as during periods of elections. And ultimately, whereas the justifications are numerous that are provided by the states, network disruptions undermine access to information, they undermine freedom of expression, they undermine citizens' access to education services, to health services, and they undermine the economy.
At the forum, Cisse hopes to learn from others like him, some of whom have developed creative ways to circumvent and combat internet restrictions. Together, they are a growing movement of resistance, refusing to let technology meant to give them a voice silence them. Nicholas Hawk, Al Jazeera, Dakar.
More than 300 schools across Lebanon have opened their doors to the displaced. Some 40,000 people have already taken shelter there, a much-needed refuge as Israelis' military expanses attack across the country. Al Jazeera's Zain Kudur reports.
Day 3 of Israel's sustained air assault on Lebanon. A campaign its army says is about destroying Hezbollah's military capability. The area of operations is expanding. Strikes are no longer confined to the south and east. They are reaching other areas where Hezbollah has a presence. For the first time, targeting positions in Mount Lebanon, north of Beirut. And 20 kilometers south of the capital, a building was destroyed along the main highway. The strikes are causing widespread destruction, and casualties, already in their hundreds, are mounting. Strikes are now getting closer to the country's biggest city, outside Hezbollah's stronghold in Beirut's southern suburbs, where commanders have already been killed.
For weeks, we have been speculating if and when border confrontations will spiral into war. It's week 2 of a new phase in hostilities. It may not be all-out war like in 2006, when Israel laid siege to Lebanon, bombing the airport, blockading seaports, leveling parts of Beirut's southern suburbs, as well as targeting regions outside Hezbollah's influence.
But for the people of Lebanon, this is very much a war. Hundreds of thousands are believed to be on the move in scenes similar to the last major war between Israel and Hezbollah in 2006. Ambulances racing in all directions.
The day before yesterday, strikes started getting closer and Israeli planes were in the sky. For sure we were scared, bit by bit. It reached the fields outside the village and inside it. Of course we could not stay. Everyone is scared. We carried ourselves, packed our clothes, and left.
Hezbollah, too, is hitting deeper inside Israel, targeting areas that have still not been evacuated. It has promised Israel's military actions won't achieve its stated war goal of returning tens of thousands of people to their homes in northern Israel. For the first time in 11 months of fighting, Hezbollah launched a long-range weapon towards Tel Aviv. It was seen as a significant escalation and a message that its capabilities have not been destroyed. Hezbollah has committed itself to keep fighting until the war on Gaza ends.
Netanyahu's aim of returning the northern settlers to their homes, which cannot be done without going into this large-scale war. Diplomacy has not been successful, neither with Gaza, and it won't be successful with Lebanon as I can see it.
Lebanese officials say this is an unprecedented attack by Israel, and they are disappointed with the position of the Biden administration. It is not strong, and it is not promising, is what the foreign minister here said. There doesn't appear to be a window for diplomacy, at least not yet. Zena Khuder, Al Jazeera, Beirut.
This brings us to the end of the regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3D weather forecast. And that's Safe TV2 headline news for this Wednesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.